Well, hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for our very first Minds Matter PG. So, this is our first Minds Matter PG, but not our first Minds Matter. We've been doing Minds Matter for about 6 years. It's a program where we promote mental health and wellness. And we typically do our Minds Matter programs in Pennsylvania. We also do it in Baltimore and DC every year, but this is the first time that we're catering to our PG, our Prince George's audience. So I am so excited about that. So let me tell you guys what we have in store for today. So obviously, as I mentioned before, this is about mental health, preparedness, wellness. It is about helping you heal and get through that journey not alone, right? So we want to equip you with all the tips and tricks to help you on this journey. So we have different workshops for you. We're going to talk about the brain gut connection. So we have a workshop that will pinpoint how nutrition is affecting your mental health. We're also going to talk to you about how you can incorporate breath work and movement and sound healing to help with your mental health. Then we're going to talk about the brain, not the brain gut connection as it relates to stress management. So we're tackling many of the angles that really affect your mental health. And I should also mention that even though this is a one-day event, BGH, now known as Bringing Good Health, we do this all year round. As the founder of Bringing Good Health, it was really important for me to provide direct services for people. So much we have done a lot of over the years since our existence. We've done a lot of workshops and campaigns and events. But we were not really providing direct services for people. As of 2019, we started providing those direct services for people little by little until we started our outpatient mental health clinics. So we have an outpatient mental health clinic in Oxon Hill, Maryland. So you can get a therapist. We have therapists for individual therapy, group therapy, family therapy. We also have a nurse practitioner who can provide medication management. Since we do believe in the brain gut connection, we also have a health coach that leads our food for thought classes at our clinic. And she talks about different supplements that you can take and food that you can incorporate to help you on your mental health journey. We also are really big proponents on doing lab work at our clinic. So we prescribe, we give you an order so that you can get lab work on maybe it could be different deficiencies that you may be facing that could be affecting your mental health. It could be a magnesium deficiency, a vitamin D deficiency, and maybe your thyroid. So it may not just always be something that you need medication for. It could be something that can help you by just taking vitamins. So that is something we pride ourselves on, and we're really big on at our clinic. So much that we wanted to expand, and we have expanded our clinic to Pennsylvania. So we have another clinic in Pennsylvania that we just opened in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, that just got started, and we're providing the same services. Oh, and I should also mention, we also do yoga, or will be doing yoga at our clinics. So we believe in the holistic approach to healing because we think that mental health is not a singular problem. It is a holistic issue that we have to tackle. It's not just one way to skin a cat, right? So we're tackling the food approach. We're taking the food approach. We're taking the exercise approach, the therapy, the emotional approach. So we're doing it all. I will continue to remind you from time to time during this event to check out our website, thebghclinic.com, if you're interested in making an appointment. We also have free mental health free mental health screenings test that you can also take. And we'll be showing that down below. So make sure that you pay attention to the comments, because we'll be reminding you to check out the clinic, make an appointment if you're interested. We'll be reminding you to take our free mental health test. Maybe you don't know if you exude the symptoms of having any sort of mental health condition. So we're going to help you with that. We're also going to remind you to take our survey. So pay attention to the different workshops because we want to get your feedback afterwards on how we did. What did you learn? What can we improve on? So that we can continue doing this and maybe in a different way, right? Because sometimes Minds Matter is not always virtual. Sometimes it is in person at either Baltimore and Harrisburg, DC, where we do Minds Matter. Sometimes we do have Minds Matter in person events. So we want to hear from you. So make sure that you look on the screen. If you're watching this on Facebook or what have you, in the comments, we'll be posting the survey link. We'll be posting the free mental health screening link. And our website for our outpatient mental health clinic if you're trying to book an appointment. So either way, let's get started. I'm talking too much. Feel free to make sure you comment though. When you see presenters that you like and they're saying some good stuff, comment, ask questions. We want you to ask questions so we can answer them. Be engaged. We want to hear from you. So I'm going to be looking for them comments, whether you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube watching us. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it off to our kickoff speaker. Our kickoff speaker is Dr. Rhonda Wood, and she's a best-selling author. She is also on the board of Prince George's National Alliance on Mental Health Illness, NAMI, and we are so excited to be with her today. Dr. Wood, I'm just going to give it to you because I know you have some powerful stories to tell.
Yes, and thank you so much for having me. This is an amazing opportunity. Good morning, beautiful people, and welcome to today's virtual summit, Minds Matter, for Prince George's County. I am Dr. Rhonda M. Wood, and I am beyond honored to kick off today's powerful event. And so I'm excited just to jump right in. I love some of the topics that we're going to be talking about, the brain and the gut connection and how that feeds into our health holistically. But I think more importantly, I'm excited that we are going to be sort of lifting that veil, right? Breaking stigma and leaning all the way in to these conversations that really matter. So, mental health advocacy, not just a passion of mine, but it's very, very personal. I have had my own personal journey, and I've also walked alongside my loved ones who have navigated the heavy weight of anxiety, depression, childhood trauma, and the like, right? I have witnessed the secrets, the silence, the shame, and the stigma. And what it does is a lot of times it causes isolation, right? We don't want anybody to have to struggle in silence or solitude. So I've also witnessed what the power of community is like, what the breakthroughs are like when we step into a treatment, and what sort of life-saving impacts can happen when we have events like this. Sometimes it's all about simply, being validated, right? Having someone validate what we're going through. So many times it's about being seen and being heard. So that's why I show up. I show up to events like this. I show up in the community. That's why I advocate. That's why I fight for the resources, the education, and the change that's provided by NAMI, Prince George's County, not just as a professional, but as a person with personal experience who is looking for opportunities to be able to share my story. So there I was, being all I could be, climbing that corporate ladder, right? And many of you can probably relate to being somebody who, you're trying to be all you can be in your job or your career. So what I realized is that, that 9 to 5 or 9 to whenever, right, was starting to have me feel overwhelmed, stressed out, and burned out. How many of us can relate to that? Put something in the chat that says stressed. We don't want that, because those are the types of experiences that can lead to mental health. Not only was I going through my own, stress and feeling sad and lonely and isolated at work, I didn't want anybody to know, honey, I hid it. I showed up every day with my head held high. I had a big smile on my face, but beneath the surface, I was stressed. Didn't want anybody to know, because obviously I wanted to appear like, no, I got this. I am strong, in control, and in charge, right? I worked so hard to get there. I was like, I need to prove that I belong here at this table. So I hid it. It wasn't until it hit home, honey, it hit personally, when my child started to experience her own mental health symptoms and challenges. But they were not subtle at all. As a matter of fact, y'all, she was acting a fool. Somebody put acting a fool in the chat. She was acting a fool. I mean, acting out at home, acting out at school, and acting out with me. So I dragged her, and yes, I mean dragged her, to therapy. I sat on that couch right with her right beside me, and I said, listen. The therapist said, why are you here? I went on for a good 15, 20 minutes. She's doing this, and this is happening, and the school said this, and her room, and her this. And he allowed me to continue. He waited until I finished. He looked me straight in my eyes, and he said, I can't help her until I help you. I didn't like him very much after that. As a matter of fact, I was trying to figure out which version of me wanted to respond. Was it going to be the version of, I don't know who you think you talking to? Or was it going to be the version that said, you know what? It's time for me to get real. It's time for me to go deep. And it's time for me to finally heal. So lucky for him and lucky for myself, because, jail or bail did not go with my outfit. And so I decided that I was going to do the latter. I was going to step into my healing journey. It was what was best for me, and it was what was best for my family. And let me say, my healing journey has not been easy. It has been sometimes a knockdown, drag out, but it has been 100% totally worth it. The best decision I've ever made. One of the things that really helped me the most was reaching out to the National Alliance for Mental Illness, NAMI, here in Prince George's County. They have been a blessing, and I have been blessed to be able to be a champion along with them. Not only was I one of their biggest supporters, I became a volunteer, and I now sit on the board of directors. So NAMI is an organization that we stand on the front lines of hope. NAMI PGC is a lifeline. We are a voice to those who have lost theirs. We are the hands that hold, we are the ears that listen, and we are the hearts that heal. From our support groups, our educational programs, the advocacy, the outreach, the community partnerships, including with the BGH Foundation, we have been building bridges across communities, across cultures, and across generations, because again, we don't want anybody to have to suffer alone in silence and solitude. So no one should ever have to walk their journey alone. Now you might say, well, Rhonda, what happened? What happened to your loved one? What happened with you? At the end of the day, NAMI was able to allow me the opportunity to, first of all, I had to figure out, well, what is mental health about? What are my symptoms? I needed to identify the things that were causing me to be stressed and either eliminate them completely or put boundaries. My loved one as well, she was able to do the same thing. My daughter, she was able to do the same thing. And not only has she been able to thrive. Now, I'm not saying that we are 100% cured, not saying that, but I'm saying that we are able to better manage through the different resources, whether it's through, talk therapy, art therapy, dance therapy, and of course, it's that retail therapy and that travel therapy too. We won't talk about that too much, but you have to figure out what works for you and your mental wellness. And of course, there's the physical fitness, and I can't wait for us to talk about the diet and the exercise. So now we all know that mental health is real, right? There's also barriers to mental health, whether it's the lack of access, it's the stigma surrounding, it's the cultural misunderstandings, right? And of course, the biggest one of all, there's the fear. There's the fear, there's the stigma. There are people who will not raise their hand and even say, hey, I'm having a mental health issue. I'm having a mental health problem. I'm not, but I think we are beginning to scratch the surface. We are becoming more and more comfortable with having these types of conversations. So there's a need to normalize and destigmatize mental health conversations and being more and more okay and making it acceptable to say I'm not okay, being okay to not be okay, right? So there are those barriers, but barriers were made to be broken. And so that's exactly what we're doing here today. We are creating a culture, right? We're creating a culture over hope over helplessness, healing over hiding, and support over stigma. Now let that sink in. We want you to be a part of something that is great, something that is powerful, and something that is transformation. We want you to be able to embark on your own journeys so that you can be mentally healthy and whole. Now, here are my three really quick takeaways, right? As we listen to these phenomenal speakers that we have today, I want you to remember three things from me. Your story is your superpower. Here I am telling a story about how I have mental health and how my loved one have mental health. But we were able to get the support that we need. And now I literally travel around the world. I have been to London 3 times. I've been to London 4 times, France 3 times, Belgium. I got an invitation to go to Bonn, Germany for Mental Health Awareness Month next month. And also in the month of June, I was invited to Hong Kong in China. That's what happens when I stepped out of my stigma, silence, and shame and secrets and shared my story, became my superpower. I share it, I speak it, I own it. And I never know who I'm giving permission to so that they can embark on their own healing journey. The second thing is my community, my NAMI community and my other communities like this, they are my medicine. Not saying that I don't need pharmaceutical medicine, but the community was very helpful for me. Healing happens through connection, not necessarily isolation. And for me, Prince George's NAMI, Prince George's County was a big part of my healing journey. And we are just happy and delighted to be able to partner with BGH Foundation. And my last point is that mental health, it's health. Mental health is health, period. It deserves the attention, the compassion and the care, just like any other parts of the body. Issues that affect the neck up, not just the neck down. So I want to end it there and just say that I am still on my journey and it's going great. I'm feeling more and more comfortable sharing because I realize the impact that it has in my life. My daughter, who at one point was a mess, is now married, happily married with 2 children. So I want to share that because there is hope. We are both mental health speakers. We're both advocates, and we're both doing very well on our journey, on our mental health journey, because we do those 3 things. Realize our story is our superpower, our community is our medicine, that mental health is health. I want to give a big thank you and shout out to the BGH Foundation and the founder. Thank you so much for this opportunity and the great work that you do.
Absolutely. Dr. Wood, thank you so much. And Dr. Wood, thank you. And I mean, you definitely hit on some great stuff. I mean, being your own superpower, I never really thought about that. And I think sometimes you were right. Sometimes people think, to cope with your mental health or kind of regain your mental health is being isolated, but it's great that you found hope in a solution really by connecting with people. Like, you got to really understand what is your medicine and figuring that out. How you heal, it's very different for everyone. And being around people can be just as therapeutic, not always being alone,
Yeah.
and I'm so glad that you and your daughter, realized that for you guys in your own medicine, and was able to, find a good coping mechanism with finding, connecting with other people. So that's amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Wood.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. All right. So let's continue on. And I hope everyone enjoyed that kickoff speaker, and you're still with us, because we got a lot more to go. A lot more to go. We're going to be talking about nutrition. We're going to do some breath work. We're going to be talking about managing your stress, the brain gut connection, it all starts right now, right after the break. Feel like yourself again. The mother, the lover, the friend. Feel like yourself again, not tired and exhausted and at your wit's end. Feel like yourself again, having fun, loving yourself and others. Feel like yourself again. It's time to heal and live. If you or someone you know is struggling with their mental well-being, book an appointment today at the BGH Clinic for Women's Health, a safe space for women of color to take control of their mental well-being and feel like themselves again.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. First, giving glory, honor, and praise to my Lord and Savior for allowing me to be here with you all here just one more day. I am Takira Faulkner. I'm a licensed graduate professional counselor, founder and owner of Kingdom Talk Therapy. Today, I will be talking to you about the brain-gut connection. I have a question though before we get started. I want to know who ate breakfast this morning. Who ate breakfast? Drop in the chat. If you did, say I did. If you did not, say I missed it, Miss T. I missed it. Let me see. Talk to me in the chat. Talk to me. Who ate breakfast this morning? It is 11:23 a.m. Somebody should have had something. All right. All right, Patrice. Good. All right, Arjetta. Yes. All right, Rosie. Yes, 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 yes. I missed it. Oh, Talissa. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. You missed it. That's all right. All right, Jennifer. Good job. All right, Dolores. Not yet. Okay, I like that yet, because that means you're gonna do it. Just coffee. I don't know, Christine. I don't know if I could give you, I don't know. I don't know. Well, you guys continue to put your answers in the chat, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Next slide, please. All right. So, did you know that eating breakfast in the morning not only improves your energy levels, but it also improves your ability to concentrate? Including gut-friendly foods into your diet, such as fiber, prebiotics, and probiotics, can keep your brain and gut super happy and super healthy. So, the brain and gut. Your brain communicates with your entire body through nerves or what is known to be your nervous system. However, your brain and your gut are basically best friends. They talk about all kinds of things, from practical and physical matters to emotional ones too. It is true that your brain and your gut talk about you. That's right. Like that taco that you ate that you knew you weren't supposed to, or that ice cream that filled you with instant regret, and even that bad relationship or that friendship that you should have let go a long time ago. More information passes between your brain and your gut than any other body system. Think about that, you guys. That is huge. In fact, there are more nerve cells in your gut than anywhere else in your body outside of your brain. So they work so closely together that the gut is often referred to as the second brain. That's how close that they are. All right. So, okay, Miss T, you talked about the brain and the gut and how they communicate, but what's the purpose? What is the purpose? Next slide. The concept of gut health refers to the function of the gastrointestinal tract and its role in the absorption of nutrients, digestion, elimination of waste, immune function, and mental health. I'm going to read that again in case you didn't get it the first time. The concept of gut health refers to the function of gastrointestinal tract and its role in the absorption of nutrients, digestion, elimination of waste, immune function, that is big, and mental health. The gut harbors so much good bacteria and other microorganisms that play a vital role in maintaining overall health and uniquely affect your mental health. Next slide. All right, gut microbiota. Bet you ain't never heard that before. The gut is home to a diverse community of microorganisms, collectively known as the gut microbiota. Millions and trillions of microbiota line the GI tract, which helps produce a barrier. This barrier assists with the absorption of nutrients, signal sending to the brain, defense against infections, and helping with immune tolerance. Studies show up to 80% of immune cells live in the GI tract. That's a huge number, 80%, you all. The signals sent from the GI tract to the brain can affect mood, cognition, and behavior. Next slide. All right, Miss T, that sounded very good, but how does this impact my mental health? What impact does this have on my mental well-being? The impact. So, the brain and the gut are so intimately connected. Scientific evidence suggests that any imbalances in the gut microbiota can disrupt this communication. This imbalance can then lead to the potential development of mental health disorders such as anxiety, such as depression, and even neurodevelopmental conditions such as autism. Can someone please talk to me in the chat and give me a brief definition on what you believe anxiety is? First person, let's see. Did y'all hear me? Anybody know? Anybody know? If you don't, it's okay. The feeling of being overwhelmed. Yes. Thank you, Arjetta. Yes. Yes. Worrying thoughts. Yes. Stress. Yes. Very good. Very good. Very good. Fear of the unknown. Good. Very good. Intense, excessive, and persistent worry and fear about everyday situation. Very good. Very good. Very good. Thank you all. Thank you all. Stress, no energy, overwhelmed. Very good. Very good. All right. Next slide, please. Neurotransmitters and disorders. The gut microbiota produces and interacts with various compounds, including neurotransmitters like serotonin, and gamma aminobutyric acid, which plays a crucial role in regulating your mood and emotions. Sorry, I pronounced that incorrectly. It's gamma aminobutyric acid. Serotonin, which is most likely known as the happy hormone, is primarily produced in the gut and influences mood, sleep, and appetite. It is believed that disruptions in the gut microbiota can interfere with the production and signaling of these neurotransmitters, contributing to mental health disorders. Studies have found higher rates of depression and anxiety in patients with GI disorders like irritable bowel syndrome and ulcerative colitis. So I mentioned serotonin, and I just want to give you all some understanding as to what serotonin is. It's known as the happy hormone. Serotonin is a chemical that carries messages between nerve cells in the brain and throughout the body. Serotonin plays a key role in body functions such as mood, sleep, digestion, nausea, the healing of wounds, your bone health, and even the desire for sex. Next slide. All right, Misty, how do I make sure that this doesn't happen to me? The negative effects, how do I make sure that it doesn't happen? What can I do? Next slide. Here are some effective techniques. First one, you can improve your diet. Consume a diverse range of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and fermented foods to incorporate fiber and omega-3 fatty acids. And also drink water. I cannot stress that enough. In today's society, we have all different types of juices and sodas and beverages that oftentimes we forget about the water. Drink your water. Definitely increase your water intake. Another effective technique is probiotics and prebiotics. Incorporate probiotic rich foods like yogurt, pickles, kimchi, and prebiotic foods, garlic, onions, bananas, etc., to nourish and promote the growth of beneficial gut bacteria. Next one, which is really huge, reduce your stress. Living in today's society, stress is definitely at an all-time high. It really is. Chronic stress can disrupt the gut-brain axis. Engage in stress-reducing activities and regular exercise to promote a healthy gut and mental well-being. The next effective technique is connect with nature. Stepping away from the computer screen and electronic devices can be very beneficial. All day, every day, you all. We are here typing and texting and listening to music, and so much cells and radiation and all these different types of electronic waves are impacting our body. We don't see it, but just because we can't see it does not mean that it's not there. So step away from it and connect with nature. Try to get some fresh air for at least 15 minutes every day. And you don't have to go outside and spend hours and hours out there, although you can, but just step outside and just breathe in. Take some deep breaths in and out. Inhale, exhale, and breathing in our God-given air and stepping away from the electronic devices and computer screens. Last but not least, avoiding toxic substances. right? Gotta get rid of that. Getting rid of alcohol, getting rid of tobacco, and any other legal or illegal substance that contributes to the decline in your positive health journey. And I get it. I understand. A lot of times in society we view these substances as a quick escape, but in hindsight and in reality, it is doing more damage than it is doing good. So decreasing that and eventually getting rid of it will definitely help you in the long run. And you will definitely begin to see positive results in your overall health journey. All right. So we are going to play this game called Talk to Miss T. I am going to read off a question, and I need for you all to drop your answer in the chat. First question: what food do you currently consume that you know you need to get rid of? What food are you currently chowing down on? You getting up at 10 o'clock p.m., driving to the nearest gas station to buy it, or Walmart, or here and there to buy this snack, this food, whatever. What do you need to get rid of? Potato chips. Very good. Yes, chips. So we got 2 chips. It's something about them chips, huh? Chips. What else? Red Bull. Wow, that's a good one. That's a very good one. Very good. Chocolate. Oh. Cake, cookies. Oh, wow. Chips. That's the 3rd chip. All right. Chips is in the lead. Fried food and warm dessert. I understand. Emphasis on the warm. Cake. Yes. I think we have chips and cake. There go another chips. All right. Chips and cake is the honey buns and cookies. Oh, I understand. I understand. Cakes, pies, and cookies. All 3. Triple threat. Very good, you all. Very good. Good. Okay, I heard a lot of chips, and I definitely heard a lot of cake and cookies and pies and stuff. Everything is okay in moderation, you all. Don't feel like you have to completely give up the chips, give up the cake, give up the cookies. You can have it, just not in an excessive way. You know for a fact, if you done had a cinnamon roll, a cookie, and don't go opening up the sweet potato pie. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Everything is okay in moderation. And speaking of that, if you are looking for a healthier alternative or something that's better and more healthier and protein packed, there is this Instagram page called the Snack Lady LLC. She offers protein cake bites in various flavors. It is protein packed, over 28 grams in each container. It is fantastic. And I just so happen to know her personally. So if you are looking for something better, a better option to dessert, a protein packed option, definitely check that page out. All right, next question. What positive activity can you incorporate in your life that will help reduce stress? Right? What can you begin to do to help reduce that stress? An activity, something that you can incorporate in your daily routine. I've started walking on a daily basis. Yes. Very good. Very good. Exercise. Yes. Very good. Walk. Yep. I'm seeing a lot of physical activity. That's really good. Really, really good. Gym, walks, find a new hobby. Yes, I'm glad you said find a new hobby. because a lot of people don't realize that when you create and when you make things, it releases your mind to go into a creative world where you don't have to worry about the stress. You don't have to worry about this. You don't have to worry about that. You are able to fully engage in your creative side. Nature walks, consistent gym schedule. Yes, heavy on the consistent. I'm glad you said that. Consistency is what matters. Just slowing down and taking a moment to breathe. Yes, yes, Patrice, very good. Very good. Taking a moment to breathe, because life can definitely make you feel like you got to hold your breath. Yes, the protein bites are satisfying. Yes, yes, I agree. I agree. I agree. Very good. Very good, you all. Very good. All right, last question. And this is not one that you put in the chat. This is something that I want you to think about, meditate on, and answer it in your own time. What person or what relationship do you need to let go of to help strengthen your brain gut connection and overall well being? Don't put it in the chat. Don't put your business out there. Think about it. What person or what relationship do you need to let go of to help strengthen your brain gut connection and overall well being? I really want you all to think about that. All right. If we could just put up the last slide, please. So thank you all. And there are some sources available if you all would like to see. Next slide. Next slide. All right. So thank you all. Thank you for your time. If you need help, please contact me. Reach out. My email is there. My Instagram is there, as well as the Suicide and Crisis Hotline, right? You are not alone, as well as the National Emergency Line, 911. And then also for Suicide and Crisis, dialing 988. Today, you all, we live in a very hard world. I don't think it's ever been this difficult in the history of the earth. You are not alone. Please reach out. Please reach out. There is somebody somewhere willing to help you. Don't feel alone. Please reach out. I definitely recommend for everyone to get into therapy. Within our community, there has been this saying of, well, I'm not crazy. I don't need to go to therapy. That is not true. And every opportunity that I get, I am going to debunk that myth. It is not true. Going to therapy is one of the greatest, one of the strongest, one of the best things that you can do for yourself. And you have to find a therapist that you mesh with, someone that you feel a connection with and that you feel as though can help you along your mental health wellness journey. So please reach out. And thank you all. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. I think people don't realize, the things that they eat, the small little bites that they eat in the morning, and they, the munchies that they may have, and attribute any of that to mental health. And that's important. Like when you're putting all that processed food and everything in your body, a lot of times it may feel that monkey or that taste you have, but a lot of times it makes you feel bad. And then they don't really think about, could have been the chips. They don't even think about the chips that they had. They just feel like, I feel bad. They don't think about all the stuff that they had, the ice cream and the cake, know?
Yeah.
So that was just really good. And just, just telling people to kind of, what did you have? What do you, what do you snack on and stuff? And then getting people to realize that. So, Takira, thank you so much for your presentation today.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So how are you guys enjoying it so far? I mean, I'm hearing a lot from you guys. It seems like you're liking it. Well, there's more still to come. Just want to give you guys some reminders. Is our free mental health screening, our free mental health test. Please complete it. It's right on our website. We should actually post it right on the screen here. There you go, thebghclinic.com. You can book a mental health appointment. You can also, on that website, you will see our mental health screening, a free mental health screening right there on the website. So take that. If you don't know if you are depressed or maybe you could be, we'll help you. We'll help you figure it out. Or you can just jump straight to it and book with one of our therapists. We would love to have you. We would love to serve you at our outpatient mental health clinic in Oxon Hill, Maryland. In addition, I would like to let everyone know that every year we also have our Kickstart event, our annual health and wellness event. We've been doing it for, this will be our 6th year doing our Kickstart event. We have a bunch of celebrities and social influencers in the nutrition realm, the exercise realm, mental health. It's where we all kind of get together. It's an all-day event, and we have lunch and all that good stuff. We have it in, it's going to be right here in the DMV. It's going to be this summer. So stay tuned. So make sure that you sign up on our newsletter so you can get all the updates. And that our newsletter is, you can find our newsletter at www.bghf.org. So just make sure that you're signed up so you know when the tickets go on sale, who's going to be attending. It's all a secret right now, but you'll get all the updates if you are signed up to our newsletter. So, and if you haven't been to our Kickstart event, I know some of you have. If you haven't been to our Kickstart event, I want you to actually. I won't even say anything. We're going to have a commercial, and right after this segment, you're going to see a commercial on Kickstart, so you can kind of know what to expect from us. So. I will see you right after the break. So stay with us. Next up is breath work, learning how to, breathe through your stress. So stay with us. We'll be back.
Feel like yourself again. The mother, the lover, the friend. Feel like yourself again. Not tired and exhausted and at your wit's end. Feel like yourself again. Having fun, loving yourself and others. Feel like yourself again. It's time to heal and live. If you or someone you know is struggling with their mental well-being, book an appointment today at the BGH Clinic for Women's Health, a safe space for women of color to take control of their mental well-being and feel like themselves again.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. I hope you all are enjoying the speakers, the event so far. My name is Lordine Jean-Francois. I am a licensed holistic therapist and women's empowerment coach based out of the Greenbelt, Maryland area. I am the co-founder of Better Days Counseling and also the founder of Flow with Coach Lou and the Power Movement. And so I've been a therapist now for over 16 years and recently began integrating holistic practices such as breathwork, movement, sound into my work with the clients that I support, the women that I support.
and what this journey has really highlighted for me and reinforced for me, both my personal journey and the journey of supporting the courageous people that choose to reach out for support and allow themselves to be held by others, is that talking sometimes just isn't enough, right? Sometimes talking just is not enough. And we need to consider, explore, integrating practices that really tap into the not only the mental aspects of who we are, but the physical and the spiritual aspects of who we are. And so this is exactly why I'm such an advocate for integrating holistic practices and tools in your healing work, on your healing journey. All right. So we are actually going to start, thank you for the welcome, with a bit of a grounding practice, if you will, just to kind of come here in the present moment, to be here in the present moment. So I'm going to invite you to find a comfortable position. That could be a seated position for you, or lying down, whatever feels comfortable to you. And I'm also going to welcome you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. If it doesn't, maybe take a low gaze, and that means just like staring down, looking down at your nose or down to the ground. Okay. So as you get into a comfortable position, you're going to hear some sound here. We'll be playing some sound bowls. And with your eyes closed or with a low gaze, I'm going to invite you to take 3 cleansing breaths. Okay. So let's breathe in through our nose. Exhaling out the mouth, big sigh. Again, in through your nose. Out through your mouth, big sigh. One more time, in through your nose. Out through your mouth, sigh it out. Now I invite you to return to the normal pattern of your breathing. And I just want you to tune in to the flow of your breath. Notice the inhales and the exhales. And if anything pops into your mind, that's fine. Just thanking the mind and reconnecting with the flow of your breath. Now I invite you to bring your attention to the top of your head. And imagine that there's the brightest sun hovering right above you. And tiny particles of light, countless particles of light, falling from the sun. Flowing through the top of your head, your forehead, down to your nose, your lips, your neck, your shoulders, your chest, your abdomen, your lower belly, your thighs, your calves, your shins down to your feet. And those golden particles of light flow into the ground and become roots, grounding you into this moment, affirming that it is safe to be in my body. It is safe to be here now. I invite you to take a few more breaths here. Breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. And we'll take 3 more breaths, cleansing breaths, to seal in this practice. In through your nose, out through your mouth, big sigh. In through your nose again. Out through your mouth, sigh it out. And one more time, in through your nose. Biggest sigh of the day. And before coming back to the screen, I invite you to look around the room. And then come back to the screen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So hopefully you all are feeling grounded and centered and here now. Empowered healing, holistic practices for stress, trauma, and wellness. Next slide, please. So it is important to know that trauma does not just affect our minds, it affects our bodies and our soul. So what we're going to be working through today is exploring breath work, gentle movement, and sound healing as essential tools to mitigating the effects of trauma, reducing stress, and improving the gut-brain connection. All right. These practices are extremely accessible, and they're also rooted in science and ancient wisdom. You may hear these tools referenced as New Age practices, but in fact, these practices are deeply rooted in African traditions, in indigenous cultures. So there's nothing New Age about these practices. These are tools that our ancestors have engaged in for hundreds of years. I think back to listening to my mom humming in the kitchen as she cooked, right? Not knowing that humming is actually a practice that helps to regulate and soothe our nervous system, right? If you enjoy dancing, if you enjoy movement, right? All of these practices are quite indigenous, again, to our people, to African American people, and they're not new to us. It's just that now we're we're remembering, if you will. And there's so much beauty in remembering these practices because of the powerful benefits they have. Okay, so just keep in mind that these practices are, again, not new. They are ancient wisdom, and this wisdom is within you. Okay, so it's time that we reconnect with these practices because utilizing them is our birthright. Okay, next slide, please. All right. So, what is breath work? Right? I mean, we all breathe, right? I think we take about, John Hopkins says we take about 70,000 breaths per day, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, we breathe. That's how we live. But breath work is the conscious control of breath, right? And so this involves actively engaging with the breath while focusing on present moment awareness. This way, we're facilitating relaxation. Okay, so breath work helps us to manage stress, to regulate our emotions, and also helps to enhance our overall mental and physical health. Okay. There are tons of breath work techniques. There are different techniques for different things. So if you're looking to feel more relaxed, a technique such as deep belly breathing would help to calm your nervous system. And box breathing is another technique that is used to create a sense of calm and a sense of relaxation. All right. Alternate nostril breathing, on the other hand, actually increases our energetic output, along with breath work such as fire breathing and lion's breath. Okay, so there are different types of techniques depending on the effect that you are looking for. And we'll go through a couple of those techniques here today. The other very important and essential benefit of breath work, as mentioned, and is worth reiterating, is the way in which it helps us regulate our emotions, relax, and to heal. Okay, so specifically when it comes to managing anxiety, breath work helps to regulate the sympathetic nervous system. And when we do that, we're reducing stress levels, which helps to improve our physiological functions and also our emotional resilience. And in this way, breath work helps to bring about mental clarity and overall well-being. When we're in a stressful state, when our sympathetic nervous system is activated, we are operating in our act before thinking brain, or act without thinking brain, which is also known as the amygdala, the lizard brain, if you will. And we're not so much operating in our upstairs brain, which is the think before acting brain. This is the place of our frontal cortex, our neocortex, where clarity is found, where we're able to connect with others and actually focus and concentrate and pay attention and access our memory. And so breath work helps to create a connection, if you will, between this downstairs part of our brain, this act without thinking brain that is responsible for the fight, flight, freeze, fawn response. It helps us connect that part of the brain to the upstairs part of the brain, right? So that we can be connected with our emotions, but also connected to our ability to reason and to use logic. Okay, so think about breath work as a bridge, a way to again connect this downstairs brain to our upstairs brain. Okay, next slide, please. Right. So here's a little bit more about the science of breath work, right? Again, in this ancient indigenous practice, thanks to scientific, the scientific process and discoveries, if you will, we're now able to provide the scientific proof and evidence to support the amazing benefits of this practice. So once again, breath work stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. So we we have the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. Both of these systems make up our autonomic nervous system. Okay. So the parasympathetic nervous system, that is the part of our autonomic nervous system that's responsible for the calm, the rest and digest response, if you will. And so when in using breath work, we activate that part of our system that says, like, we're safe. Okay, it's safe to be here, right? So when we do that, this decreases our heart rate, and it also decreases our blood pressure, and that's how we experience the benefit of relaxation and reduced stress levels. Okay, so deep breathing, in essence, helps to counterbalance the effect of that sympathetic nervous system, that fight, flight, freeze, fawn response. Again, that think before, the act before thinking part of the brain. Okay. So some of the specific benefits. So in terms of emotion regulation, when you engage in breath work, you're better able to control your emotions, right? Not suppress or repress them, but you're better able to control your emotions. So instead of reacting off of emotion, right, breath work helps you respond. Okay, by helping you, basically, controlling your breath helps you think before acting, but also reduces overwhelm. So instead of reacting off of your emotions, or like I like to say, letting your emotions have you, you get to have your emotions and then choose how to respond instead of reacting off of impulse. Okay. Stress reduction. Okay, so again, just promoting the body's ability, the body's relaxation response, lowering cortisol levels. That's one of our stress hormones, along with adrenaline. And so when we have actually this buildup of stress hormones like cortisol, like adrenaline, we're actually more susceptible to having panic attacks, right? Panic attacks are basically your body's way of trying to release the buildup of these stress hormones. So with the implementation of breath work, actively engaging in a breath work practice, you're lowering these cortisol levels and adrenaline levels over time, right? Which promotes this feeling of relaxation. Okay. And lastly, the improvement of clarity and focus. And I alluded to this a little bit ago on the previous slide. So when we're activated, when we're in our sympathetic response, right, we are not thinking clearly, right? So breath work allows us to regulate. So we're able to use those frontal cortex faculties, like being intentional, focusing, right, thinking about the pros and cons of the choices and decisions that we make, right? Breath work helps us to be more present, right? More present and more intentional about the decisions that we make. So essentially improving our ability to make decisions and to problem solve. Okay. Next slide, please. All right. So I'm going to invite you to join me in a box breathing exercise. Okay, so we'll get into a comfortable position here. I'm going to turn on some music. I like to breathe to music, move to music. All right, so sit in a comfortable position with your back straight. Okay, and again, close your eyes if you feel comfortable, and just take a moment to be here in the present. Okay. All right, hopefully you all can hear my music okay. If not, definitely let me know in the chat. Hear my music and hear me. That's important. All right. So I invite you to slowly inhale through your nose for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that again. In for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now returning to the normal pattern of your breath. And again, if your eyes were closed, looking around the room, just to reorient yourself before coming back to the screen. Wonderful, wonderful. Let me know in the chat how was your experience? How was that exercise for you? And also let me know in the chat if you've ever done breath work before, right? Put a one in the chat if you've ever done any type of breath work. Box breathing, belly breathing, diaphragmatic breathing. Yeah, let me know and share how this experience was for you. Okay, one. All right. Jennifer has done it before. Awesome, Jennifer. Great. Talisa, awesome, awesome, great, great. I love it. I love that you all are not new to this practice. Very relaxing. Exactly. Yes, yes, yes. Very relaxing. And I say this to folks all the time. It's free, right? This is free. It's free to breathe, right? It doesn't cost you anything, right? And it's, I mean, the benefits just are monumentous, right? So, so yes, good to know that you all are engaging in this very powerful practice. Okay. All right, next slide, please. Okay. All right, so we are now going to engage in a belly breathing practice, okay? Belly breath. Reading Arjetta's comment here, this practice is needed for all ages, but especially for the younger generation with all the trauma they are experiencing in school and at home and in the streets. Yes, Arjetta, and hopefully I'm saying your name right. I concur. I concur. What we're seeing in the younger generation is, one, the fact that their brains haven't fully developed yet. I believe our brains, our prefrontal cortex, frontal lobe doesn't fully develop until we're about 26 years old, right? So that has something to do with a lot of the reactivity that we're seeing in the younger generation, but also, right, the effects of trauma, right? So that hypersensitivity that we feel or have, or that they're experiencing, to being easily triggered and unable to regulate their emotions. And what that looks like is a lot of fights and arguments and bullying and things of that nature. Yeah, so there are a lot of factors, right, contributing to the struggles that the younger generation is having right now. So I thank you for sharing that comment and that perspective. Right. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna practice a belly breathing exercise. Okay, so again, find a comfortable position. So that can be either sitting or laying down. I'm gonna invite you to place one hand on your belly and close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. Okay, if that feels comfortable to you. Right. All right, so we're going to take a slow, deep breath in through our nose, allowing your belly to fully expand. Count to 4 as you inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Really feeling your belly contract as you release the air. And we're just going to continue this breathing pattern for a couple of cycles here. Go at your own pace. Okay. We're inhaling for a count of 4. I am perfect as I am. Exhaling for a count of 6. Really feeling the belly contract as you release the air. I am perfect as I am. Okay. Let's do 3 more rounds here. Going at your own pace. You're doing great. And if there's any mental chatter, just thanking the mind and coming back to the breath. Wonderful. All right. And again, before coming back to the screen, looking around the room if your eyes were closed, before coming back to the screen. Beautiful. All right. So between the box breathing and the belly breathing, which one do you like the most? Let me know in the chat. So let me get 1 for box breathing and 2 for belly breathing. Let me see. If box breathing is your favorite, put a 1 in the chat. If you prefer belly breathing, put a 2 in the chat. 2 belly. Okay, Jasmine prefers belly. Okay. Awesome. Okay, Arjetta also likes 2. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm with you too. I like the contraction and the elongation of the exhale, right? And Rye also likes belly breathing better. Yeah, box breathing seems a bit rigid for my taste, I would say, but there is the benefits in the conscious, retention of breath. But yeah, belly breathing happens to be my favorite as well. Dolores says she gets a headache with belly breathing. Okay, we don't want that, Dolores. We don't want that. Something that is important to have nearby if you are doing, breath work or even feeling lightheaded is some water, right? And of course, also respect the condition of your body, right? So if belly breathing gives you a headache, that I would suggest you don't do that one, okay? But again, there are just so many different techniques to choose from, okay? Wonderful. All right. Next slide, please. All right, gentle movement for stress relief. So, being a licensed holistic therapist, I'm also certified to facilitate trauma-informed yoga. Okay, and so again, tremendous benefits to this practice of just moving your body, right? For releasing tension, increasing your vagal tone. So we'll talk a little bit about the vagus nerve, and just being more aware of your body, right? The truth is, we spend a lot of time in our heads. We spend a lot of time thinking, strategizing, and because we spend so much time in our heads thinking and overthinking, right? And I'm not immune to any of this, right? We are not as connected with our bodies, and our bodies are so very powerful. They're probably our most powerful resource because of all the energy that is available to us in our bodies by way of our energetic system, right? Our chakra system. If any of you have heard of the chakra system before, there are these energy wheels that we have throughout our bodies here, 7 that are mostly spoken about, that are energy centers. And so when those energy centers are in balance, we are in a state of ease. And when they're out of balance, to simply stated, we can find ourselves in a state of dis-ease. So mental, physical, emotional, even spiritual, right? And so what movement helps us to do is it helps us to connect with our bodies, which is one way of creating more balance in these energy centers that we have as part of our chakra system. Okay. So in a nutshell, gentle movement improves our mental and our physical health. Okay, and by having a better understanding of your physical health, gives you a better understanding of your physical health and your emotional state. All right. So the vagal tone, this term refers to the activity of our vagus nerve. So we have this vagus nerve, which is the longest nerve in our body. So it goes from our brain all the way down to our pelvic area. Okay. This nerve plays an essential role in our parasympathetic nervous system, right? That rest and digest nervous system. So practices, gentle movement such as yoga, Tai Chi, or even stretching, right? Stretching can stimulate this nerve. And what it does is it helps to create or promote a sense of relaxation and a sense of calm. Okay. And so when we do this, when we do stretch, we're all stretch intentionally, we are releasing stored tension. Okay. Stored tension usually stores in our body as a result of stress and trauma, or even prolonged periods of inactivity. So being a therapist, I spend a lot of time sitting in my chair. I do virtual therapy for the most part. And so at the end of the day, my hips usually are pretty tight because I've been sitting all day. I do my best to kind of get up and walk around and take breaks throughout the day. But even with that, I can experience some tension and tightness in my hips. So what I do is I do like some hip circles, right, to kind of break up that tension. Okay. So because physical tension accumulates in the body, really just because we're experiencing stress every day, both good stress, eustress, and or distress, right? It's important to incorporate movement as a regular part of your practice to release the tension in the body. Okay. And lastly, this factor of enhancing body awareness, right? So again, getting us out of our heads and into our bodies, right? So to becoming more aware of our physical sensations, how we're feeling, right? Because the body does speak to us, our emotions speak through our body, right? So the more we are aware of our body, right, there's a deeper connection that we are fostering between this mind and body connection that we have, which is essential to our emotional health and overall well-being. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, so sound healing. Actually, as a matter of fact, before moving on to this slide, we could stay here though. Ryan, thank you. Let me know in the chat, does anyone engage in any type of gentle movement? Do we have anyone practicing yoga, Tai Chi, any form of Pilates, somatic exercises? So if you have gentle movement or a movement practice as part of your daily routine, put a 1 in the chat for me. And if you and also share what it is. Yeah, I'd like to see. Okay, if you don't have a practice, put a 0 in the chat. Okay, Jasmine. Okay. Jasmine, are you interested in a practice? Does anything pique your interest? Yoga, Tai Chi, anything of that nature? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's great. So we're gonna do a gentle movement practice in a little bit. And so hopefully you enjoy that, but I'm glad to hear that you're interested, because okay, Talisa does yoga. Awesome. Yes. Because I don't know if you all are familiar with the book, The Body Keeps the Score, right? A lot of again, the tension that we have in our bodies is a result of emotional stress, trauma, and things of that nature, right? So we really want to speak the language of the body, right? Speak the language of also the amygdala, right? And so that means engaging our body, right? So it could be gentle movement, but it could also be kickboxing, right? It could also be, any form of exercise, really, right? But gentle movement is a great place to start. But the point being here is remembering to engage your body, okay? Because we hold a lot of information, a lot of stored energy, trapped energy lives in our body, right? So we have to move to release that energy, okay? Dolores says 1 gentle stretches. Awesome. And Arjetta 0, but I want to start yoga. Very cool. Okay, awesome. Well, my information, you'll have my information. And so I do a weekly somatic group with women, and we do all types of movements. So we do yoga, we do gentle stretching, right? And so if you're interested in that, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll remind you all at the end of the presentation as well. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. All right. So sound healing. So you've had a little taste already of sound healing, right? So these are sound bowl. This is one of my sound bowls here. This bowl is the throat chakra bowl, represented by the color blue. I also have the root chakra bowl here that I played a little bit earlier for you all. And so again, another ancient indigenous practice, right? But of course, the science is coming out now about the benefits of sound healing. And many are saying that sound healing is the wave of the future, as a matter of fact, when it comes to healing and healthy living. Right. So this practice utilizes the science of vibration. Everything is vibration, right? Including you. Okay. To promote relaxation and healing. Okay, so this can include singing bowls, chanting, even you may be familiar with Om, the chant Om, which is like a Buddhist chant, if you will. That's a form of sound healing. Humming, as I mentioned earlier, right? All of these practices can help us feel more connected to ourselves and also regulate our nervous system, which is essential to our emotional balance and overall well-being. Okay, so again, all matter, including humans. All right, we are vibrations, right? We vibrate at a specific frequency, and depending on our frequency, we're either dense or not as dense, more fluid, if you will, right? And so when our frequencies are aligned, we are at ease. Right. But when they're disrupted, right, we're in dis-ease, right? And which can affect our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual states. Okay. So I've already mentioned the various techniques, and we'll actually do a humming exercise later on in the presentation. But yeah, different ways to incorporate sound. And again, this benefit of regulating the nervous system and allowing us to be more in a relaxed state. Right. Our energy centers that are part of our chakra system, they're tuned to a particular frequency, if you will. Right. They're meant to be at a particular frequency. But when they're not in that frequency, there's a disruption in that frequency, as I mentioned, what really happens is the natural flow of our energy is obstructed as a result of that. Right. And so what sound helps to do by way of the law of resonance, right? Sound helps to bring those energy centers back into balance. right? So with the heart chakra having a particular frequency, the root chakra having a particular frequency, sound helps to bring those energy centers back into balance. And when they're back into balance, our life force energy is able to flow without obstruction. And that's how we experience ease. Okay. All right. So very, very, very powerful and fun practice, I would say. Yeah. So that's the overview of sound healing. Next slide, please. Right. So let's talk a little bit more about the mind-body connection. And I'm being mindful of my time here. Okay. Okay, I think we got about 10 more minutes. Okay, this should be enough time. All right. So the body has this ability it stores emotions, right? You feel your feelings in your body, right? For example, feelings of anxiety also translate into physical symptoms, right? So tightness in your neck and shoulders, heart palpitations, upset stomach, for example. While if you're experiencing sadness or depression, which is connected to our heart chakra, you may feel a heaviness in your chest. Okay. So this occurs because emotional experiences do trigger a physical reaction, right? Hence the mind-body connection, right? And so chronic emotions that go unaddressed can lead to long-term effects and tension in the body. So say for example, you're someone who just has a lot on your shoulders, right? Feels overwhelmed. You may experience a lot of tension in your shoulders because when we're overwhelmed or we're stressed, we sometimes have this tendency to kind of push our shoulders up to our ears, right? So that's an example of this mind-body connection. You're thinking about what you need to do, feeling overwhelmed, right? And the body translates that into tension in the body. Okay. So we want to address address our emotions, how we're feeling, right? Feel the feelings, accept the feelings, right? So that we're not allowing the body to build tension to build in the body, because over time, this tension can contribute to chronic pain, right? And even illness, for example, like autoimmune disorders and things of that nature, right? So we want to be mindful of this connection between our mind, our emotions, and our body. Okay, all right. And also, too, the mind responding to physical cues. So just as the way that you feel affects your body, the way that your body feels affects your mind, right? There's this two-way communication going on here via the brain-gut connection and the vagus nerve, as mentioned earlier. All right. So we want to make sure we're integrating this aspect of mind-body awareness, because in order to be holistic in our approach to health, understanding that we're multi-layered beings, right? We're not just the mind. Actually, we have a mind. We're not the mind. We have a mind. We have a body. We're not just our body. We have emotions. We're not just our emotions. But in order to be healthy, right, we want to make sure we're addressing every aspect of who we are, all that encompasses who we are. Okay. So when we do actively engage with our physical senses and emotional states, then we can really discover more about like what's affecting us, right? If we're not tuned into our body or we're numb, to our emotions, we lose the opportunity to gain clarity about how we're feeling, what's triggering those emotions, and also the ability to do something about how we're feeling, right? To take action to change our circumstance or our situation, right? So it's important to be engaged and really attuned to what's happening, not just in your body, but also in your mind, so that you can have the clarity, have the awareness to then also be able to change what it is that you want to change in your life. Okay, so very important, that mind and body connection. Next slide, please. Okay. All right, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I think the previous presenter did a really amazing job, right? But so the gut is often referred to as our second brain, right? Speaking about this gut-brain connection. And the reason why is because we have neurons in our gut, right? As part of this, what is it? Enteric nervous system. Okay. This allows us to operate independently and communicate with the central nervous system. So essentially, there's communication flowing from our gut to our brain by way of the central nervous system using these neurons, right? So this complex interaction means that the gut not only influences digestive process, but also influences our emotions and our cognitive functioning. Okay. So the vagus nerve is essential in this process, right? Because it is the communication pathway between the gut and the brain, transmitting signals in both directions. Okay. So research indicates that stimulation of the vagus nerve can lead to improvements in our digestive health, as well as mental clarity. So this speaks to how critical of a role this nerve, the vagus nerve, plays in our overall health and well-being. There's a pretty cool vagus nerve exercise. If you have any like heart conditions, I advise you to not do this, right? But if you take your two fingers here, make a V with both your hands, and you kind of cup your ears right here, see, and just kind of glide your hands up and down your ears here. That right there activates the vagus nerve. And you may feel some instant relaxation if you're doing this. Let me know. Let me know if you feel anything in the chat, right? But this simple practice here, it's so cool that it's so simple. Actually activates the vagus nerve and produces that feeling of relaxation. Okay. And lastly, the effect of stress on the digestive system, right? So this stress has a direct impact on digestion, and not just negative stress or distress, but even eustress. Like, you ever feel excited about something and you don't even have an appetite, right? That's an example of stress affecting your digestive system, right? So in the negative sense, this can lead to gastrointestinal issues like irritable bowel syndrome, bloating, things of that nature. So if we work on improving our gut health, but also mitigating our stress, right, we end up positively impacting our microbiome, right, which produces neurotransmitters such as serotonin that play a key role in our mental health and our overall well-being. Okay. All right. Next slide, please. Okay. All right. So I think I'm almost over time. I thought I was doing well. Okay, so how do these methods support gut and brain health? Real quickly. So breath work stimulates the vagus nerve, creating a state of calm and better digestion. Movement increases blood flow to your digestive organs, and sound creates vibrations that resonate through the body, which also impacts the nervous system and allows you to feel more relaxed, contributing to your emotional well-being. Okay, next slide, please. Okay. All right. So we'll engage in this final practice before we close out, if that's okay. All right. So this is a seated spinal twist. Okay. So I want you to sit comfortably in a chair. All right. With your feet flat on the ground. All right. Really feeling your feet grounded here and your back straight. So I want you to shift slightly to the right side of your chair and place your right hand either on the back of the chair, or if you're like me, you have an arm on the arm of your chair. Okay. While placing your left hand on your knee. Okay. Let's get that left hand on the knee there. All right. So I want you to, while in this position, inhale deeply, really lengthening your spine here. And as you exhale, twist your torso to the right, using your hands for support to deepen the twist here. And we're going to hold for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. All All right, really feeling that stretch in your spine. Okay. All right, and then inhale, turn to center, return to center. And now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so shift slightly to your left here. Put your left hand on the back of the chair or the side of the chair. All right, and your right hand on your left knee. Okay, so we're inhaling deeply, lengthening the spine. And as you exhale, twisting to the left here, really using your hands to deepen that stretch. Okay, we're going to stay here. Remember to breathe for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. All right, and then return to center. Okay. All right, that's a very simple stretch that you can do at any point in time, right? That really helps to really, first of all, relax the body, but also touches on that vagus nerve connection, right? And also can improve your gut health. Very simple exercise. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. All right, and this will be our last exercise for the day together here. Okay, so this is a humming activation for a humming practice for the vagal nerve, right? All right, so I'm going to cut some music on here. I love this song by Beautiful Chorus. It is Faith's Hymn, right? And so they're humming the whole song, which is just drives me wild. Okay, so close your eyes if that's comfortable to you. Okay, take a deep inhale through your nose. And then I want you to hum as you exhale. Let's do that again together. Inhale. Hum as you exhale. One more time. Inhale. And hum on the way on the exhale. Just feel the vibration in your chest. Let's do that again. Inhale. Hum on the exhale. Good job. When you're ready, looking around the room, if your eyes were closed before coming back to the screen. That simple practice, again, simple, accessible, right? Stimulates your vagus nerve and signals to your body that you are safe, okay? So you can use this at any time, okay? Next slide, please, which I believe is the next to last slide. Just some simple tips for integrating breathwork movement into your daily practice. So all it takes is 5 minutes. All it takes is 5 minutes a day. And we really want consistency, right? The compounding effect of consistency. So I tend to do my meditation practices, breathwork practices first thing in the morning, but find a time that works best for you. But all it takes is 5 minutes a day. Make some time to move during the day. That gentle spinal twist that we just did, very accessible, all right? And also some evening humming after a long day, okay? Okay, hum, okay, to activate that vagus nerve and the sense of relaxation in your body, okay? All right. I also put a little script here for you. You could maybe take a picture of it. I don't know if you're able to see it, that you can actually read out loud, record it and play it for yourself, right? It's like a mini meditation or breathwork practice. Okay. Again, all it takes is 5 minutes. All right. All right. Last slide, please. And I'm going to take a quick look at the comments. Thank you. Thank you all so much. This was great. I really enjoyed our time together. Remember that breath is always available to you. Always. Okay. Movement is medicine and sound is a bridge. I mean, these are our practices. It is time that we as a people reclaim these practices for our health and overall well-being. You have everything you need inside of you. These simple, powerful tools are at your disposal to use at any time. Okay. Talisa says, this was great. Thank you for sharing space, Talisa. I hope I'm saying your name right. Arjetta, very informative session. I learned that I need to increase my breathing techniques in every form of my life when feeling anxious or stressed. Just breathe through it. Yes, breathe it in, breathe it out. Jasmine says, this was amazing and beneficial. It's been my absolute pleasure to share space with you all. My contact information is on the screen here. And again, if you're interested in the power sessions that we have every Saturday, we're integrating these somatic practices. You can shoot me an email and I'll be more than happy to share the information with you. Dolores says, thank you. My pleasure, Dolores. Namaste. Thank you all so very much.
Yes, Laura Dean, this was amazing, and it's very interesting. You know how you're talking about like humming and stuff, because I hear that people even use like humming like when they're going into labor as a way to like cope with all the pain and stuff. So that's very interesting that you mentioned that as a way to cope with stress.
Absolutely.
I was like, oh,
yeah, it's pretty cool. And just, you can feel the vibration, you know, and it's letting your body know that you're safe, you know?
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us and being with us. Hope to even work with you again. Yes, enjoy the rest of your day. So
thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Portia. Thank you. Thank you all so very much. Take care.
All right. So, oh my goodness. I mean, is this not good or what? I mean, are y'all having a good time? Are y'all learning a lot? I know I am. So we are about to wrap up, but not just yet. We have one last workshop for today. And that last workshop is going to deal with nutrition and how nutrition impacts your mental health. So that is so much important. And you guys are getting a little bit of a taste of that already from, you know, the workshops that we've already seen. So we're really going to delve even deeper into nutrition and the impact on your mental wellness. But I want you to look closely to the commercials that you see. One, I've been mentioning the mental health screenings. Please go on our site and take your free mental health screening. Go to the bghclinic.com. You can also book an appointment with us if you're interested in booking with one of our therapists. Also, we at our clinic, you can also do food for thought classes at our clinic if you become a client, where you can get more help on nutrition and how to improve your nutrition to improve your mental health through those classes if you're a client with us. So definitely check it out. In addition to going to our website, if you're interested in booking an appointment, the free mental health screening is on there. If you're trying to figure out if you have, if you do have anxiety issues or are depressed or anything like that, you can go to our website and take a free test. So we are going to, stay with us during the break. You're going to also see some information on our Kickstart Health and Wellness Expo that will be coming up this summer. So check out the recap video so you can learn a little bit more about our Kickstart Health and Wellness Conference, all-day conference that includes a full day of workshops, food, celebrities, the whole nine. And then stay with us because we're going to end our event with food and nutrition and how that plays a role in mental health. So we'll be right back.
Hello and welcome to the 5th Annual Kickstart Health and Wellness Expo, brought to you by our sponsors, Novo Nordisk, Hologic, and New York Life.
Amazing. I love the yoga session, and Dr. Bobby Price is amazing, so I was so happy I got to participate in that.
Feel like yourself again, the mother, the lover, the friend. Feel like yourself again, not tired and exhausted and at your wit's end. Feel like yourself again, having fun, loving yourself and others. Feel like yourself again. It's time to heal and live. If you or someone you know is struggling with their mental well-being, book an appointment today at the BGH Clinic for Women's Health. Feel like yourself again, the mother, the lover, the friend. Feel like yourself again, not tired and exhausted and at your wit's end. Feel like yourself again, having fun, loving yourself and others. Feel like yourself again. It's time to heal and live. If you or someone you know is struggling with their mental well-being, book an appointment today at the BGH Clinic for Women's Health, a safe space for women of color to take control of their mental well-being and feel like themselves.
Hello, and welcome to the 5th Annual Kickstart Health and Wellness Expo, brought to you by our sponsors, Novo Nordisk, Hologic, and New York Life.
It was amazing. I love the yoga session, and Dr. Bobby Price is amazing, so I was so happy I got to participate in that.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shanika McClarty, licensed therapist, health scientist, and plant-based chef. And today I am honored to chat with you about how to nourish to flourish using food to make sure that you balance your mental well-being. And so I am going to piggyback on Mrs. Faulkner's presentation from earlier this morning, the gut-brain connection. So that's important for my presentation as well. Please interact with me in the chat. I want you to ask me questions, and at the end, we're going to do a little bit of prepping your meals. Okay. Next slide. The next slide, please. Thank you. So what we're going to do today, explore the connection between your nutrition and brain health, explain how plant-based diets can improve your mental wellness, and I'm going to provide you with some steps you can implement for mental well-being. Next slide. Thank you. So the research, when people are stressed, feeling anxious or overwhelmed, they typically snack. That's emotional eating. And the research shows that women of color, primarily African American women, usually choose sweet, salty, and crunchy. And so earlier when Takira was asking you to place in the chat what you normally eat, you were saying chips, cookies, cakes, pretty much align with the research. And those are comfort foods. And what happens is your brain, it feels good to you, right? It spikes your sugar, makes you feel good for a while, but your brain does not really like those types of foods. And so we're going to talk about what it does to the brain when you consume sweet, salty, and crunchy foods that are not nutrient dense. Okay, next slide. So comfort foods, once again, those are high in sugars and fat, refined carbs. And I want you to focus mainly on mindful eating, not the emotional eating. Typically, when someone is stressed, they want to eat. When they want to have a glass of wine, right? You want to have a glass of wine or go out for drinks with your friends. When you're depressed, you want to eat. That's emotional eating. And so you have to be mindful, have to be aware of how food is like controlling or influencing your behavior, right? So we want to be mindful, want to be intentional about what you fuel your body with. And those unhealthy foods deplete those nutrients that the neurotransmitters need for mental well-being. The next slide. So I know you've already heard this in the previous presentation, serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, and GABA. Those are just, 4 neurotransmitters. There are different neurotransmitters, but primarily I'm just going to stick with these 4. These neurotransmitters, of course, are in your brain. The neurons in your brains release these neurotransmitters. But what I want you to remember is that the brain accounts for 20% of your daily caloric intake. So whatever you're consuming, the brain is going to take 20% of that. And so what we need is a balance of those neurotransmitters, and proper nutrition supports that. It supports the growth and survival of those neurons that actually release those neurotransmitters. And so when you're not getting the proper nutrients, that serotonin might be low, that dopamine might be low, those neurotransmitters might be low. Hence, someone might feel that depression, right? They may feel that anxiety. And also stress can affect those neurotransmitters too. And so it's important that you think about how I'm managing my stress and what I am consuming, the foods that I'm eating, to make sure that I'm nourishing my brain to help those neurotransmitters. So I want you to partner with your brain. That's what I want you to think about when you're eating. I need to make sure I'm partnering with my brain. I need to make sure that I'm supporting my brain with the best foods that I can eat, okay? Next slide. So gut-brain connection. I want to simplify this for you. The gut and the brain communicates, right? There is a nerve that goes from the base of your brain to your gut, and it's called the vagus nerve. And I have a bold arrow pointing to that vagus nerve. So that vagus nerve is how the brain and the gut communicates, right? Now, I mentioned those neurotransmitters. What I want you to remember is that 90% of serotonin is produced in the gut. All right, 90%. So now research has shown us that not only do we have these neurotransmitters in our brain, right, the neurons in our brain, but also we have neurotransmitters in our gut, particularly serotonin. And so if you have a poor gut, what Ms. Faulkner mentioned earlier, like that unhealthy or that poor gut microbiota, right? If you have that unhealthy gut, poor gut, it leads to mood disorders, right? It causes you to have difficulty focusing and concentrating, right? You might not have that clarity, that sharpness that you need. So the gut, right? We want to make sure that we give it the nutrients, the food, so that it can have like healthy gut microbiome. There's that good bacteria, and then there's that unhealthy bacteria. And so what happens when you continue to consume those sugary foods, maybe like you're going to Chick-fil-A, or you're grabbing like McDonald's, your chips, your cake, your alcohol, things like that. What's happening is you're just really increasing those unhealthy gut microbacteria, okay? And so what happens, those negative poor bacteria starts to eat away at the healthy ones, and it can eat into the lining of your intestines. And then that is what we call leaky gut. All right, so imagine that happening, something like a little negative, those bacteria are now eating away on the inside of your intestinal walls, causing holes in that, and that causes a leaky gut. And with that leads to inflammation, and inflammation leads to other illnesses. So that's why it's important for you to really be mindful about what you're intaking and consuming, all right? Next slide. So those sugars, processed foods, I tell my patients that I want them to shop the perimeter of the store. When you go into the grocery store, start within the perimeter. That's where you find your produce, your vegetables, your fruits, right? You get your meat, and then you get your dairy, right? Anything down the aisle, that's processed, right? Even the refrigerated aisles is processed. It has been processed in a factory, and you can just cook it quickly. It has a lot of trans fat. It has a lot of saturated fat. It has a lot of sodium. It has words that we can't even pronounce, right? Chemicals that we don't even know. Red dyes, color dyes, all sorts of things that our bodies just weren't created to consume at all. And so try to limit your time on those aisles, right? Yes, I know you need to go down those aisles to grab some things like flour and sugar and your oils and such, but try to minimize the cookies, the chips, the crackers, you know what I'm talking about. The bacon, oh my goodness, the bacon. One thing that's just a research study just came out connecting dementia to processed meats, so like bacons and sausages. So there's a correlation between high consumption of those with dementia. So that was a new study that was released. So minimizing the amount of time that you're on those aisles, okay? And also decreasing your intake of caffeine and alcohol, because this increases the anxiety and it affects your sleep. So if you're having difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep, you might want to double check and just take a look at your intake of caffeine. I think I remember someone saying that they go into the store for like the Red Bull or the high energy drinks. Those can affect your sleep as well. And it can make your anxiety increase. Your heart starts to race. You get those heart palpitations, right? Maybe a little jittery. Some people get the muscle spasms where their eye twitches, right? Their eye will start to twitch. So just make sure you decrease the amount of caffeine and alcohol that you're consuming. Another note I want to mention about caffeine for women, and it's still aligned with the gut and the brain, but if you have something such as like say PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, right, or fibroids, you definitely want to decrease the amount of caffeine, because once I said, like the intake of those high sugary foods, the processed foods, even the fast foods that you're picking up, it causes inflammation and it worsens those conditions, okay? So just be mindful how all of this is connected, what you eat, your body, and your mental. The next slide, please. So what does the research say? Research says that eating fruits and vegetables improve your mood. I am not like a fan of like my patients focusing on a specific diet, the keto diet and this diet. I just want them to eat healthy. So make sure that you're consuming fruits and vegetables, okay? Why? Because fruits and vegetables have their own chemicals, all right? Their own chemicals, polyphenols, catechinoids, terpenoids. There are different chemicals in fruits and vegetables. And those chemicals help the brain, right? The research shows that it reduces anxiety and depression. Particularly omega-3 is a good one for reducing depression and anxiety. Research has already shown us that. Now, the one diet that is heavily researched and has shown promising results is the Mediterranean diet. It has shown to decrease depression by reducing oxidative stress and boosting your brain functions. So you might be wondering, what is oxidative stress? Well, if you take an apple and you slice it and you just leave it on your counter, you'll notice that the inside of the apple will start to turn brown. That's oxidative stress. So imagine that happening to your cells inside your body, right? That's what's happening to your cells. They're being attacked, right? And we need antioxidants. So foods that are really plentiful in antioxidants to reduce oxidative stress, right? When oxidative stress happens, cognitive decline happens. Aging, we see premature aging happens, right? So you want to make sure that you're eating the foods that reduces oxidative stress and boosts your brain function, right? Oh, Arjanetta Faulkner, she said, not the coffee. Yes, moderation, because, think about what you're putting in your coffee. If you're loading it up with sugar, if you're loading it up with cream, and if you're just putting all sorts of nice sweet stuff in it, is no longer healthy anymore. Coffee itself, the coffee bean, is good for you, but it's what you put into the coffee. So think about it and make sure that it's non-caffeinated, all right? Non-caffeinated. The next slide. So let's talk about what foods we should include. Now, I have provided you all with a list of like a pantry assessment, right? And so what I want you to think about is including omega-3. You can get omega-3 from salmon, flax seeds, and walnuts. Fermented foods, we need the fermented prebiotic, probiotic. Think yogurt and kimchi, sauerkraut, or think kombucha, right? If you see kombucha in the store, grab it. You want to get you some so that you can start to drink it. Leafy greens. Now remember, we're really focusing on this because we want those chemicals from plants, right? We want those polyphenols and those terpenoids and all of those healthy chemicals from the plants and the fruits. So those leafy greens, those bright greens. Now, if you're doing romaine lettuce, kind of watery. You're not going to get like the nutrients you really need. I know most people like it, but I want you to go with the vibrant green colors like the spinach, the kale, the arugula, right? I want you to do that. And there are different types of kale, right? Different types of kale. So just play around with your leafy greens. You can also incorporate some fresh herbs, like your cilantro, your Italian parsley, making sure you sprinkle that on top of your salad or start to incorporate those fresh herbs when you're cooking. Also, I want you to think about berries, your raspberries, your strawberries. Like, oh my goodness, you're going to get so much antioxidants from your berries, okay? Some people might have like an allergy to certain fruits, but the ones that you can eat, ask yourself like, how many servings of fruits do I get a day? Actually, I want to ask you, how many servings of fruit do you eat in a day? Could you just, share that with me? How many servings of fruit? Are you eating it? Did you have fruit today? Waiting. Okay, let me know in the chat, the fruits. Let me know if you're eating fruits, if you've had some today. Another thing I want you to think about, incorporating nuts and seeds. Now, particularly nuts and seeds, because we get magnesium, and magnesium has been shown to reduce stress. Magnesium has been shown. Great. Kylette says she's had 3. Okay, great. That's wonderful. That's really good. Nuts and seeds, magnesium, because there are certain nutrients that our body definitely needs. Our body needs that magnesium. It needs the vitamin D. And so when you go outside, I think Ms. Faulkner mentioned like going outside and like exercising, taking a walk. When the sun rays hit your body, it produces your skin when it produces vitamin D, and we need vitamin D. Your brain needs vitamin D. You have blueberries with breakfast, 4 to 5 a day. Ethel, awesome. That's what I'm talking about. So that's right. Sneak it in. You can sneak it in. Perhaps one serving every other day. Okay, every other day, Rajetta, that's good. I like it to be every day. And so I'm going to talk to you later about how to sneak it in, right? How to incorporate those fruits and vegetables into your diet. All right, next slide. So let's get down to the practical strategies. First, I want you to think about now, like I would ask you to get up and go look into your pantry, right? If you want to do that, great. If you have that form with the pantry assessment, I do want you to take some time and just go and look at the form and look and see, like, wait, do I have these things in my pantry? Like, do I have this in my spice cabinet? Do I have this in my refrigerator? And if it's not on this list, I want you to pull it out, right? And whatever you pull out probably shouldn't be there, all right? It probably shouldn't be there. All right, program director had an apple today. Great. I like it. That's good. So I want you to think about it. Let's look at that list. If you have it, just take a look. Do you have asparagus in your refrigerator? Are you buying things like asparagus, bok choy? Are you buying, spinach and kale? Do you eat Swiss chard? Think about it. You can just play around with your salads and how you can cook these things. What about cabbage and Brussels sprouts, celery, collard greens, cucumbers? There are different types of cucumbers. I love English cucumbers. They're the really long ones because the skin is not so tough. So tell me right now, if you could just kind of think about what's in your cabinet. Do I have plant-based sugar? That's like coconut sugar, palm sugar. Do I have avocado oil, or am I using peanut oil, or like canola oil, or olive oil? Ask yourself these questions. Take an assessment of your pantry, because it's going to tell you about your eating habits and your buying habits, right? Now we're talking about behavior. So when you get into this, you're doing your assessment, you'll see, like, I have a lot of cookies and cakes and sweets. Yes, Talisa, love it. I keep cucumbers in the fridge for my kids. Love them. Yes. And you can do so many fun things with those cucumbers, right? So I want you to take the pantry assessment. So I have a question for you. Tell me, if you just kind of like reflect in your mind, twinkle, think for a minute, like, name like 3 plant-based items that you have in your pantry right now. 3 plant-based items. Jasmine Sinclair started using avocado oil. Love it. Just to let you know, avocado oil is a high heat oil, so you can fry using avocado oil and olive oil to saute. So very good. So when you need a high heat oil, avocado oil is really good. So my question, think about what's in your refrigerator, your pantry, your cabinet, and give me 3 plant-based items that's already there. 3 in the chat if you can. You gotta engage with me. Okay, I'm just imagining that you're typing right now, right? 3. And if you need to get up and look, you can. So that means only plant-based items. No meat, no dairy, right? No jelly, no syrup. Only if it's maple syrup, right? It has to come from a plant. All right. So I'll give you a moment to think about that. Spinach, yes. All right, kale, you got some kale in there? Okay, Lordine has spinach and kale. I have coconut, olive oil in the pantry. I have spinach, oranges, zucchini. Ooh, yeah, I love it. And that right there, we can make a meal with it. We can use the oranges to zest it and make a meal. All right, that's really good. All right, spinach, Jasmine. So the favorites is spinach. I want you to challenge yourself. If you have like spinach, kale, like you pick up the same type of leafy green, challenge yourself to try a different one, right? You're going to get a lot of those nutrients from kale, like the lacinato kale, the dinosaur-looking kale. You'll get a lot of the nutrients that you need from that. Carrots, cucumber salad. Spinach is really popular with this group. I like it. Bananas and nuts. Okay, bananas and nuts. I love it. Yeah, the nuts. Don't forget your nuts. Your pepita, your pumpkin seeds. Don't forget your seeds, chia, hemp, walnuts, pecans, cashews. You can also use cashews to make a cheesecake. So you don't have to use cheese. You can use cashews. So cashews. Yeah, you can use ground pecans to make your own crust for like a pecan pie or any type of crust. You can use ground pecans. So there's lots of ways to sneak it into your meal, right? I know sometimes my patients don't like cooking, right? Which is why I do those cooking classes with them. Because when you carve out the time and when you have a community, it is a stress reliever. It can reduce stress. Just a sensory part of just the hearing the chopping and smelling the flavors. It touches every scent. Like you can smell it, you can feel it, you can taste it, you can see it, you can hear it. All of your senses are activated when you're cooking, and that can help to reduce stress. So try to, if you don't like cooking, try to say, you know what, I'll just cook maybe one meal and just be really mindful about everything that you're doing. And I promise you'll find that your heart rate and your brain waves will slow down, which means that you're activating your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the relaxation system, okay? All right, food swap. Let's get into it. Now, I know I saw in the comments someone said I'm buying chips, I'm buying cakes and pies, ice cream and all that stuff. It tastes so good. Oh my goodness, it tastes so good, but it's not good for us. So if you have to swap out the chips for something healthy, what is another option? Let me hear it in the chat. What's another option that you could use instead of grabbing for the chips? Okay, engage with me, engage with me. Okay, you decided I'm not gonna eat the chips. Instead, I'm gonna eat this. What are your options? Yes, trail mix. Yes, you can make your own trail mix or you can purchase it. Popcorn, yes, popcorn. If you love cheese, you can always sprinkle nutritional yeast, which is cheesy, on top of the popcorn. Yes. Cucumbers and hummus, snack nuts, pita and kale chips, absolutely. Or it could be hummus and kale, hummus and pita. You do the hummus and pita chips. Yes, you're absolutely right. I always say beef pretzels. Yes, this is good. Pretzels, you can do pretzels and pretzels and peanut butter. You can just have fun with it. Now, be prepared. Most people are not prepared. They're out and then they're like, oh my gosh, I'm hungry, and they'll just grab whatever, right? Or maybe they're at work and they're just like, I'm hungry or I'm bored, because some people do bored, like snacking, and they'll just go to the vending machine or the corner store and they'll just grab some chips or whatever. Prepare your snacks. You can prepare your trail mix in small Ziploc bags. You can also put your hummus in like a small container, chop your veggies up, your carrots and celery and all those things, your pretzels. You can prepare your snacks. I even do that when I fly. I take my own snacks because to eat in the airport is super expensive, but also you find that you're eating crap when you travel. So make sure that you take some snacks. The next time you're traveling or when you're out running errands, just put some healthy snacks in your purse, okay? Do it for yourself, do it for your brain, do it for your body, do it for your family. Cucumbers are fruit. Yes, so cucumbers are really popular with this group. Absolutely. All right, so another question. Stay with me. So you instead of the M&Ms, the chocolate, instead of the M&Ms or the Snicker bar or Kit Kat, What is another option? What could you swap that with? What's an option? Is chocolate you're craving? You can still have it possibly. What could you eat instead? If you're a chocolate lover, what could you eat instead? Okay, so I'll tell you, you could do dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is good for you. You can do that, all right? You want to make sure that is, 70%, 80%, dark chocolate. You can yes, everyone's saying dark chocolate. You can, if you like bananas, you can slice the bananas, melt the chocolate, dip it, and put it in your freezer for a while. And those are really yummy when you want to have a snack that has chocolate on them. You can dip your pretzels in that dark chocolate. Pop it in the freezer and let it just cool for a while, and that's a nice snack that has chocolate. So absolutely. Some other options too now. If you the sodas, of course, I tell people get away from the sodas. Drink water if you can. Why are we telling you to stay hydrated? When someone is dehydrated, the symptoms look like anxiety and depression. They have a difficulty focusing, concentrating. They're irritable, very moody. Some have low energy, right? Some have low energy. Besides the skin being really, really dry, they actually have physiological symptoms as well. But I want to focus on the mental. Staying hydrated helps your brain. Right. So sometimes patients think that they have anxiety, think that they have depression. And I always keep water in my office and I always say to them, did you drink water? How much water have you drank? Right. So make sure you stay hydrated. I love rice cakes. I love rice cakes. Rice cakes and chocolate or rice cakes and peanut butter. Those are really good snacks, right? Really, really good snacks. I just want you to remember, like, as much plant-based as possible. I want to make sure that it came from the earth. Okay? Make sure you get as much food that is grown in the earth. All right? So if you struggle with like breakfast items, you can do oatmeal, you can do fruit on that, you can do toast with avocado. Avocado is a healthy fat. Avocado is wonderful for you and for your brain. So try to incorporate it. I use avocado to even make salad dressing. So you can make a avocado, cilantro, jalapeno, lime kind of flavored salad dressing. So you can get really creative with using avocado. All right. So question, what did you have for dinner last night? What did you eat for dinner last night? I want to know what you had for dinner. I'm being nosy. What did you eat for dinner? And what did you eat for breakfast this morning? So what was last night's dinner? And what was this morning's breakfast? Right? Could you share that with us, please? So that we can just take a look and see, what was on your plate? What was on Sheila's plate? What was on Anna's plate? Lordine, what was on your plate? Ethel, what was on your plate last night? What did you have for dinner? What did you have for breakfast? Kylette, Jasmine, talk to me. Arjetta, what did you have for dinner last night? And what did you have for breakfast? Girl, Lordine over there eating lamb chops and salad. Okay. All right, I like that shrimp salad for dinner. Jasmine, I had the same thing. I had a salad with shrimp on top. Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was like with some jalapenos and stuff on it. Curry rice with tofu. Love it. I love tofu. Kylette, do you ever eat silken tofu? Because you can use that to make a lot of desserts. Salmon, sweet potato, peas, and carrots. Love it. Love it. Yogurt for breakfast. I'm loving this group. So I'm getting a feeling that you already know, hey, I need to keep eating healthy. Take a look at that list that I've given you, right? And make sure, like, if you're not eating a lot of those things on the list, start to incorporate it into your diet. Dinner, fish, French fries, and lemonade. Breakfast, a bowl of cereal. Homemade mango smoothie for breakfast. Okay, so the thing with Arjetta, you know what? No shame, right? Because we love French fries. We do, right? But a way that you can switch that out, it could be maybe sweet potato fries, or you can add in like some vegetables with that, right? Some sauteed vegetables or some grilled vegetables. No shame in it with fish, because fish and chips, fish and fries, that's what you get when you go out, right? For something quick. But just think about, how can I make sure that I have a rainbow on my plate? My plate needs to look like a rainbow. All right? It needs to look like a rainbow. Bagel with salmon, cream cheese, blueberries, and water for breakfast. I love it. Okay, cream cheese. Dinner was oxtail, broccoli, collard greens, and yellow rice. Ethel, I should have been at your house. Okay? I don't eat beef or pork, but I'm feeling the greens in the yellow rice. Chicken franks, broccoli, boiled white potatoes. I love it. I love it. Take a look at the dry spice list and ask yourself, do I have like star anise? Are there some spices that I want you to look on the list and make sure, like, hey, do I have these in my cabinet? Start playing around with, shisho leaves and things like that you might not have those in your cabinet. You can start playing around with those different spices and changing up some of your favorite dishes, right? You can change them up. Chicken franks, broccoli, boiled white potatoes. I like this. I really, really do. I mean, I'm impressed with what you've shared with me. Overall, I like to see more greens, like really more greens. I like the yellow rice. I'm wondering, was that a box rice or did you make your own yellow rice, right? Because we want to reduce going down the aisle and grabbing things off the shelf. Like if it's on the shelf, you could make it, right? So how do we make our rice yellow? Turmeric. Turmeric makes our rice yellow. How do we make our rice flavorful? We can add some cumin, some coriander, a little bit of maybe a cinnamon stick, right? There's some way to make it really yummy and tasty. So, so just start looking at your meals and say, hey, I had a good meal, right? What part of this came off a shelf, right? Did I take this rice, like, was it like already seasoned white rice? Wild rice that's from like Uncle Ben's. Or did I flavor it, like did I season it myself? Will the slides or list provided during the presentation be available afterwards? I think so, Kyla. Yes, absolutely. I got it from a restaurant in Brooklyn, New York. Oh, cool. All right. Brooklyn, New York. Cool. Hopefully it was a good meal. Yes, the slides should be available. So let's look at our meal plan. Let's go to our meal plan sheet. If you don't have your meal plan sheet, that's fine. When you're starting to meal plan, so when I do with my patients once a month, we get together and we meal prep 3 meals, right? Why do we do that? It's because a lot of us are working, we're mothers. After work, some people are just like, I don't feel like cooking, I'm tired, right? And then it's like, if you're on your way home or if you're at work, you're thinking like, what am I gonna eat tonight? What am I gonna? That's stressful. Right? It's stressful. So the reason why we meal plan and meal prep is to reduce the stress, so we don't have to worry about what we're eating, but to make sure that we do not shortcut ourselves, right? We're not just going to order pizza. We're not just going to go through the drive-through. We're going to be intentional about what we're putting in our body. Because why? Because I have to make sure that I feed my brain. I don't want to have Alzheimer's. I don't want to have dementia. I don't want the cognitive decline. I don't want to have high like diabetes and high blood pressure. It's so many reasons why we should eat correctly, right? But primarily we want to make sure for our mental well-being. All right. So when you're thinking about meal planning, you think about, if you went out to a restaurant, what are you going to order, right? Are you ordering oxtails and yellow rice, right? Are you ordering salmon and steamed vegetables? Think about your favorite restaurant and what you're eating there, right? And think about when you're like grabbing to go quickly, like, where am I going? Am I going to Chipotle? Am I going to Chick-fil-A? Am I going to Cava? Like, think about where you're going, all right? So that helps you to identify like your palate, like, what do you like? I'm normally eating this type of stuff. So what I want you to think about is primarily just going to stick with like let's stick with dinner. You want to make sure that I have produce. You want to make sure that I have a grain, right? I need to make sure I have some grain on my plate, like that yellow rice. You want to make sure that you have some legumes, we mean beans. Like, do I have pinto beans, black beans, chickpeas, kava beans, like all sorts. There's so many different types of beans. So did I get beans this, 3 days out of the week? Did you have some beans, right? Did you have grains 3 days out of the week? Not white rice. I'm thinking it's not a bad thing, but I would prefer you to have brown rice or maybe millet, or maybe you can do basmati jasmine, and you can also add some seasonings and stuff to it. But ask yourself, did I get grains? Did I get lentils, my beans? How many days did I get that, right? Because you need that folate. You need B12 and B6. These are the vitamins that your brain needs, right, for mental well-being. You need that zinc and that magnesium. And sometimes my patients say, oh, can I just take a supplement? You could, but then how do you know if it's the right level? Like, how do you know you're not getting too many of those nutrients, that vitamin, because you're taking a supplement every day? Okay. So I'd rather you eat it. I'd rather you eat your nutrients. So ask yourself that. So when you sit down to meal plan, your protein, if you're a meat eater, and if you're not, then that's great because you're going to get all vegetables. So think about my protein and my vegetables. I want something green. I want something a grain, and I want a legume, right? And then you think about your spices. I always start with the flavor profile, meaning the region or the continent, right? Do I want African, Moroccan? Do I want to stick with maybe like Mexican, Brazil? I think about flavor profiles because what we do when we're cooking, we have to build flavors. So if you have a certain region or country, like a certain type of flavor profile that you prefer, then I would say, think about learning those spices so you can always create a flavor profile, and like, hey, I can make these foods. Like, I love Thai, so I always make sure I stick with my flavor profile for Thai. A lot of sesame oil, a lot of mirin, things like that to make Thai food. Some heat goes with Thai as well. So let's just meal prep your breakfast. I saw that you have fruits and vegetables. I saw that you had some fruits and some yogurt and some oatmeal and berries. Those are really great. What are some other vegetable options for you? Think about some other breakfast options. What could I eat for 3 days breakfast? And that means something that's totally different. If you've had a banana, shredded wheat, 2% milk, what could you eat tomorrow for breakfast? All right. What could you use? Yeah, I love Thai as well. What could you eat the next day? So think about 3 days worth of breakfast, 3 days of lunch, and 3 days of dinner. Now, if you're single, you have leftovers, you don't have to worry about lunch because you can have that for leftovers. But that's what I want you to do when you're meal prepping. I just want you to think about, just 3 days. I want people to get consistent with prepping for 3 days. And if you can do 3 days, then you can do an extra day. You can add on, but just think about 3 days, all right? Next slide. Okay, this right here is the pantry inventory. This is what I was mentioned to you earlier. I just put some things up here to think about. Whole grains, your coconut sugar. I always use coconut sugar. If I want a sweetener, it's coconut sugar, or it's going to be maple syrup. And so think about your olive oil, your avocado oil, your spices. Go through your spice rack. If you're using the salt in the blue little box or whatever with the little girl on it, stop. The iodized salt. We try to use kosher or sea salt or finishing salt. That's really good. The next slide. So this is how you get in contact with me. You can find me on Instagram at Therapy Girl. That's without the I, Therapy GRL. That Cook to Thrive. Anyone who wants to join one of those Sundays with me to cook meal plan for your mental well-being, you're more than welcome to do that. That's not a cost to you at all. I can provide that contact information to the founder of BH Black Girl Health Foundation. And I'd love to have you. So at this time, I'm going to drop in the chat here. let's see. I'm going to drop, how do I do that? I have to join the chat. I'm going to drop you some recipes, a really quick recipe, and I'm actually going to drop it here for the founder, and I'm going to let her drop it over there to you guys. That's a quick recipe for Chipotle chicken chili. It's really quick, under 30 minutes. As a matter of fact, it's going to take you 20 minutes, about 20, 25 minutes. Really easy. Kids love it too. I think you'll love it as well. Share the recipe with you guys.
I love it. I see it, and we'll definitely drop that. I think it's already. Yep, it's great. It's in the chat, and people can get that recipe. Great stuff. I mean, Dr. Shanika. I mean, people just really don't realize the importance of you are what you eat. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
They really don't realize that, and it's good that a lot of people on today, you know, they're already eating good healthy. You know, they probably, you know, follow us, and so we you know, we definitely preach it all the time. So so that's good. The word is, you know, definitely getting around, and the connection, you know, making that connection with nutrition and mental health is very important. So
Yes.
Dr. Shanika, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Okay. So everyone, that wraps up all our workshops for today. You can't tell me you didn't learn something today. You can't tell me you did not. You had to. Great presentations. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Kylette, for joining us, and everyone who joined us today. Thank you so much. Yeah, food is medicine. Yes, it is. It is. It is. So I'm glad to hear that you guys learned a lot. Informative information. I need better. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for following us. Continue to follow us. Again, I can't stress enough, our outpatient mental health clinic. If any of you guys need a therapist, we're here to help. We have plenty of therapists who can meet your needs. So you can just go to the BGH clinic, the bghclinic.com on your screen. You can book an appointment with us if you want to check out the mental health screening and just kind of figure out if you are depressed or having some issues. Right on our website is our free mental health screening test as well that you can take. So please take advantage of that. And in addition, our survey, please, we've had all 3 workshops. Take a moment, just like 5 minutes, to complete our survey. It's in the chat. It's in the comments. Please complete our survey. Give us some feedback. We want to hear from you. Did you like it? Did you not? What did you like the most? What did you learn? This really helps us in constructing when we put together our next Minds Matter or our next event. So we hear what you guys want and what is working and what you like. So please just take like 5 minutes to do that. Will this be available for replay? Yes. So what we do is, I'm assuming that many of you guys are, you follow us. You're in our newsletter. If you're not in our newsletter, please go to bghf.org. If you're not getting your news or any newsletters from us, please go to bghf.org, scroll all the way down to the page and sign up for the newsletter. This week you'll get the replay for you to have. So yes, just make sure you're signed up to our newsletter. In addition, in terms of signing up for our newsletter, Kickstart, our annual Kickstart Health and Wellness conference. It's our big conference. It's an all-day event with all different in-person workshops, social influencers, celebrities, all, you name it, in the sphere, in this whole health sphere, right? Everyone who's all in this health field, in the mental health field or nutritional field, we make a day out of it. That is coming back this summer. So stay tuned for that. In order to find out when it is, when tickets go on sale, you need to, be connected with us. So make sure that you sign up for our newsletter so you can get the updates when tickets go on sale. So again, go to bghf.org and sign up for the newsletter so you can stay abreast of everything that we're doing, including the Kickstart Health and Wellness Expo that is coming coming again this summer. So again, my name is Portia Grigsby. I'm the founder of Bringing Good Health. And I thank you so much for joining us today. All right. Have a great weekend.